Hello again, everyone. This is Tom Rowe, product evangelist for CentreStack. Welcome to another CentreStack tutorial. Today I want to demonstrate the differences between folders that are attached versus folders that are CIFS shares. Both of these types of folders are essentially migrated to CentreStack, but the CIFS share attach or migration includes all of the user permissions and security features that would normally be included in an NTFS share on a file server. So as you can imagine, when you're migrating a bunch of users, maybe hundreds or even thousands of users to the cloud, it would be great to know that all of their permissions were migrated as well. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. So I've already attached a share from my server agent, and to do this I used my migrate CIFS Share feature. So what I'm going to do is log in on another machine as one of the users. So we'll log in as a manager. We'll sign in. And we'll go into that share. And we'll just look at files for sharing here. Now this is a cute little file. We'll just go ahead and rename this. We'll call it goat manager. As you can see, I was able to rename that. If I wanted to create another file, I could do that. We'll just create a text on manager doc. And I've created the manager doc there. Alright, so I'm able to edit things that are in this folder as a manager. Now I'm going to go ahead and sign out here, and I'm going to log back in as a user. So as a user, I can still see that folder. I'm going to go in here. Let's go into files for sharing. I could see what the manager just did, but I don't like that name, so I'm going to edit, rename. See, I can't actually rename the file. Alright, I could say copy, and then I could paste it in my own folder structure. So let me go to places, my files, and I could go into pictures, and we could paste it there. So I can paste it in here because these are my folders and I have read-write access to them. But if I go back out to places and I go to this team share, I can't create anything. I can't create anything in here because this is a manager share. Alright, so as a user, I don't have the ability to write or change anything in this folder. So now let me bounce back over to my server agent machine, and I'm going to examine that folder and show you why. So if I right click that folder and go to properties, go to security, you can see that users only have read, execute, list authority, and managers have full control. So you can see that. Now I'm going to look at the attach this folder, which is essentially a copy of the other folder. We'll check out those security settings. As you can see, administrators have full, users have read and list. Alright, so it's essentially the same. Let's go back over here. I'm going to pull up my menu and I'm going to attach a folder. So let's attach a folder. We'll browse to that and attach this. We'll call it attach this. And there it is. It's attached. So let's go back over to the other machine. We'll go to places, I can't see it. So when I attached it, it didn't automatically give me access to it as a user. So let's log out and log back in as a manager. Here I am logged in as a manager. I can't see it as a manager. As a manager, I do have the authority to read and write to this one, but I can't even see the other folder. And if I refresh it, it doesn't help me. Okay. So at this point, there's nothing I can do. It wasn't helpful for that to be attached. In order for me to get access to it, the tenant manager has to make it a collaborative folder or a team share. So I would have to log out and log back in. Now, I didn't have to do that on the CIFS Share folder because the permissions were already included in the CIFS Share. Okay, so if I log out and log back in as the administrator for this tenant, you can see that the attach this folder is now visible to me, and I can manage the folder, and there are no collaborators. So I have to manually add those collaborators. That's easy enough to do. Let's go with existing, and here I can attach the manager and the user manually. Let's go ahead and hit done. We'll save that. Now let's log back in as user 1. Now you can see user 1 does now have access to this folder. We go into files for sharing. We can just go ahead and edit this. See, now I can rename it. We'll call this user 1. Now I have the ability to do pretty much anything in here, just like the manager would. So attach this and files for sharing, and there's the file. And now I want to edit and rename it. Let's call this manager. So you see, I can attach a folder, and I can add collaborators to that folder. But now I have to go in and manually set things. So I would have to log back in as the manager for this tenant, or the administrator for this tenant, and I could manage that folder. I could say folder permissions, and now I can go in and refine the permissions by user. But it becomes kind of cumbersome, especially if you have a lot of users, to do it this way. So it's obviously much faster to do it this way, where the permissions are automatically associated with the NTFS permissions that were attached to that folder when I use the CIFS migration to attach it to my CentreStack. So I hope that that's helpful, and that it helps you to understand the differences between CIFS shares and attached folders. And as you can see, there are advantages and disadvantages, but really using the CIFS Share has so many advantages with regard to managing a file server and migrating your users to the cloud that there's really not much of a comparison. You can manipulate the security of either folder, but CIFS is just a whole lot faster, especially if you already have an established Active Directory. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.